Now, with teenage pregnancies among school-going girls reportedly on the rise, a group of teachers from Kasarani, Nairobi, are implementing a program that not only helps girls rediscover themselves, but also allows them to appreciate the long-term consequences of early pregnancies. The program is currently on pilot in 2 secondary schools of John Njoroge Secondary School and Clay City Secondary School, and is being spearheaded by volunteer teachers with the support from the KTN National Commission for UNESCO.
Following a 9-month closure of schools occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, many school-going girls terminated their education or returned to schools as teenage mothers. It would appear as though the problem was not just limited to the effects of long closures. It is now emerging that teenage girls in schools adjacent to slums are still struggling with the danger of falling victims to the vice. John Njoroge Secondary School and Clay City Secondary School in Kasarani, Nairobi, are on a pilot program on how to tackle and end teenage pregnancies in schools. The program is currently involving Form 1 girls and boys from the 2 schools, and on Saturday, the conveners of the program brought together selected students of both gender from the 2 schools with a view to teaching them on the danger of teenage pregnancies while at the same time imparting in them relevant life skills.
You will be told that if you play with a boy, you will get pregnant. That was not specific. What do you mean by playing? Yeah? And that will make me, like me, sincerely speaking, I could not play with a boy, kabisa, at the high school, playing, just the literal meaning of playing. So how do we talk? We really have to call a spade and explain to them, this is what you should not do, and this is what you should do, this is what brings this consequence, and all that.
Because when they get to know who they are, they will even be able to make informed decisions.
The problem is that we don't have proper sex education in high schools and even in primary schools.
Through skits, poems and other games, the teenagers were taken through various lessons with teachers using all techniques to guide them on how to relate, including pairing a girl and a boy as a tool to show them how to interact and make them appreciate that there is more to relating with your peer of the opposite gender.
So that they can know when a boy and a girl are interacting, it's not necessary that they're interacting to talk about maybe a sex or a response for other behaviors. So we want them to know that there's so many other things they can do together as a boy and a girl.
Former students who went through the same program were also present to give their word and advice.
I was one of the people who did the socials in 2016, where we benefited a lot from this.
Director of Education Programs at the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO, Mary Kang'ethe, says the program is currently on a pilot in the 2 schools, but there are long-term plans of extending it to other schools once the impact of the pilot phase is assessed and quantified.
These practices will also inform an extended program with more secondary schools. And in future, we even want to document this in a very clear way that can also be shared with other schools so that they can also develop similar programs.
Through this partnership with the National Council of Population and Development, we hope that this module that's currently happening here today is able not only to be limited to schools or interventions in Nairobi, but also to be scaled up in other schools around the country so that we can be able to reduce and end the aspect of teenage pregnancy.
The people we have targeted here are mainly Form 1s. If they can be able to go through that program for the 4 years, we can now look back at the say, when we compare this group with the current groups we are ahead, will these cases minimize, or how will it be impact positively?
Shadrach Miti, KTN News.
Shadrach Miti, and indeed that is a conversation that is timely. And it is on that story that we take a short commercial break. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more, including Deputy President William Ruto, who is in Kiambu today. We'll be back with more.